Hey, what's going on? We are currently live, so we're gonna get right into this. I'm gonna try to do as much as I can in the next probably 45 minutes. I'll take a break and I'll get back to the Vera one. I'm gonna be off for the next 4 days, so one of these will get done. Probably this one first. But anyways, no more dilly dallying. Let's get to this. Okay, so if I remember correctly, we were actually working on where were we? Hmm. Oh, so excuse me. We lose powerlessness. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna give myself 45 minutes, then I'll get back to Vera's thing. Okay, so all right. Celebrate moments or I cannot spell right now. Chase. It's like gradually. But these moments, I forgot the hyphen, are often short-lived. Yes, they are. Restrictions. Followed by renewed threats. Restrictions. That's that. Remind the player how precarious their position is. Okay. We can. We've definitely gone to a lot of detail. We can definitely add more, but I think we've kind of proven the point a little bit. Let's see. The psychological weight of powerlessness in horror games goes far beyond mere gameplay mechanics. It cuts to the core of why players care at all. their psychological investments in the character they control. When we play a game, especially one rooted in narrative immersion, we just don't push buttons and watch pixels move. We inhabit a character, share their fears, hopes, and vulnerabilities. This connection transforms the player's experience from abstract challenge to visceral personal ideal. When the character suffers or faces disempowerment, the player feels it too. This bond intensifies the impact of powerlessness, making it more than just frustrating. Making it more than just frustrating. It becomes deeply unsettling. Players expect to have agency to overcome obstacles through skill and strategy. Horror games break this expectation, flipping the script so that players are no longer the heroes, but the hunted, the victims, and the fragile ones on the edge of collapse. This shift taps into primal fears, the terror of helplessness, the dread of being overwhelmed, and the anxiety of impending doom without recourse. Because players identify with the characters they control, their sense of control is immediately tied to their perception of self in the game. When that control is stripped away, when moments is sluggish, when movement is sluggish, oh my god, ew. When movement is sluggish, weapons fail, or escape routes vanish, the player experiences a loss of autonomy that resembles real world fears. The result is a layered emotional response. There's immediate, the adrenaline spike when the excuse me. There's immediate, the adrenaline spike when the threat appears, but beneath that lies a sustained state of helplessness that attacks the psyche. The lingering helplessness fosters a mood of dread that colors every decision, every action, every hesitation. It's a slow burn that makes moments of relief fleeting and rare, which deepen immersion. Horror games exploit this psychological dynamic by carefully calibrating moments of power and powerlessness. When the player briefly gains control, finding a weapon, unlocking a door, or surviving a chase, it feels like a fragile victory. But these moments are often short lived, followed by renewed threats or restrictions that remind the player how precarious their position is. We can go into. Yeah, we can. It's already a lot. Okay. We'll do a concluding sentence, then we can actually finally get into the case studies. Holy shit, we're at 7 pages and I still haven't gotten into the case studies. All right. I really wanted to end up with this one. Ultimately, yes. Jesus Christ. I cannot spell to save my life tonight. Experience. Questions. Questions there. To act. Resist. Okay, so I'm just going to read that little section that I just wrote just to be sure that's a good way to end this. So, where was I? Ultimately, player psychological investment transforms mechanical powerlessness into emotional and existential terror. The player isn't just trapped in a hostile environment, they are trapped in a narrative and emotional experience that questions their ability to act, resist, or escape. Okay, I think we're good. We can finally move on to the actual case studies. Holy shit. I really, really went into detail about this. All right. SCP containment breach. That's definitely been a bit, but luckily it took notes. We're just going to ignore that. So SCP containment breach is going to be physical powerlessness. Okay, so we're going to totally ignore that. Survival. In the eerie and unpredictable halls of SCP containment breach, powerlessness is not an occasional hurdle. It is the very foundation of the player's experience. This game is a masterclass in physical vulnerability, creating an environment where survival hinges on evasion, observation, and sheer luck, rather than brute strength or offensive capability. Ugh. All right, that's fine. Give me 1 second. Hmm. Okay. I just got to keep tabs on time because I definitely want to do some of the Vera Yandere stuff tonight. God. God. We don't even need to add that because we can. Yeah, we don't even need to add that. Like, oops. I was gonna write weapons are an afterthought, but I already said we can't fight back, so it's kind of obvious. The gameplay loops. Sleeping. Careful. Timing. Emphasizing. Emphasizing. Physicality. 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 Intel, I don't know how many times I have to update you in 1 week. Holy shit. Survival fears. Okay. So if I remember correctly, mm, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we can adjust that. We can definitely adjust that later. Okay, so let me just read this to see how it sounds so far. In the eerie and unpredictable halls of SCP Containment Breach, powerlessness is not an occasional hurdle. It is the very foundation of the player experience. This game is a masterclass in physical vulnerability, creating an environment where survival hinges on evasion, observation, and sheer luck rather than brute strength or offensive capability. From the moment the player steps into the chaotic containment facility, it becomes clear that the traditional tools of defense are virtually non existent. The player cannot fight back. Oh my god. The player cannot fight back. The gameplay loops around fleeing, hiding, and careful timing, emphasizing a fragile physicality that taps into our most instinctive survival fears. Most instinctive survival fears. A key source of tension in SCP Containment Breach is the loss of control over one's body and environment. Movement is limited, the player's speed is never guaranteed, the way you interact with the world is desperate, and every moment feels like a panic-filled gambit. All right, that sounds pretty good so far. Give me one moment. This is why we always have multiple sources of notes, just in case. I always keep an iPad on me, just in case. All right, 173 is the one that literally snatched your damn neck. Oh, all right, I was getting my SCPs confused. It happens. There's a lot of them. Isn't that right, God? I'll use 173 and I'll use 09. All right, yeah. SCP 173 it's the blinking. And we can use 096. Let me just remember the gimmick. In 096, yeah, the fucking skinny ass Eldritch Abomination, pretty much. Okay, I think we're good. So that's what I'll end up using. I'll use those two. It's so easy to use 046. I might use them, but we'll see. We'll see. The reason why I want to use 173 and 096 because 173 has the blinking mechanic. It's a weeping angel from Doctor Who. Once you like blink or look around from it comes in your vicinity and will kill you. So when it comes to terror and fear, our first instinct is to close our eyes because we don't want to get hurt. We want to brace for impact. So I do feel 173 is probably the worst possible one and a good example to use in this narrative. And if I remember correctly, no god 096 you don't want to stare at it. Oh yeah, that's the staring one. Oh my god, Tat's top videos, you in my childhood, holy shit. But all right, we'll get to that when we get to that. Let's just finish that up, then we can actually reference them later. I might use 046, might use him, we'll see. Did I screen lock this? Yeah, I did. Whoops, sorry. Oh, that's not good. Right. This physicality. Physicality. No, what is physical? This physical frailty makes every moment a test of endurance. Flex is trying like person to flex and anxiety. It's like with these indie games, they do a good job of just keeping you on your toes. Like even with like Slender, but this game, anxiety off the fucking wazoo. Okay, I'm gonna go for a few more minutes. Then I'll take a little tiny break. Then I'll come back with Vera. Then I'll wrap up the night. Again, I'm coming up on a 4-day weekend because of Juneteenth. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So this will get released. Vera, well, that's getting there. But yeah, this will definitely be released in the next couple of days, especially since we're working on the case studies now, because we just have this to do. We have Tormented Souls. We have Alisa. A couple other little supporting sections that I want to do. My analysis of Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Then that's it. So definitely in the next couple of days, this will be done. I just needed the time because I haven't really had the time. No, I've had the time. It's just these next two videos are very lengthy and complex. So like this is already at 8 pages. I'm like halfway done. So this is gonna be a pretty lengthy video. But I digress. We'll get to there when we get to there. Okay, let's see. Right inside. So, what is what truly distinguishes games? This is how players into a constant tense observation. Yep, observation. Tense observation. You're never certain when the next threat's gonna come. So what truly distinguishes the game's design is how it forces players into a constant tense observation. Never certain when the next threat will appear or from which direction. Fear of the unknown, from which direction. Okay. So let me just read this out. So tomorrow I'll go into detail about 173 with the blinking mechanic and 096 with the staring mechanic. Yeah, that's what I'll end up doing. So let's read this and we'll see how this goes. In the eerie, unpredictable halls of SCP Containment Breach, powerlessness is not an occasional hurdle. It is the very foundation of player experience. This game is a masterclass in physical vulnerability, creating an environment where survival hinges on evasion, observation, and sheer luck rather than brute strength or offensive capability. From the moment the player steps into the chaotic containment facility, it becomes clear that the traditional tools of defense are virtually non-existent. The player cannot fight back. The game loops around fleeing, hiding, and careful timing, emphasizing a fragile physicality that taps into our most instinctive survival fears. A key source of tension in SCP Containment Breach is the loss of control over one's body and environment. Movement is limited. The player's speed is never guaranteed. The way you interact with the world is desperate. and every moment feels like a panic-filled gambit. This frailty. This physical frailty makes every moment a test of endurance and quick reflex. Hold on, I gotta rewrite that. Quick reflexes. Okay. This physical frailty makes every moment a test of endurance and quick reflexes, drawing players into a state of heightened anxiety. But what truly distinguishes the game's design is how it forces players into a constant, tense observation, never certain when the next threat will appear or from which direction. Or from what? From which direction? Which direction? How what? Okay, cool beans. Okay. So we went into a good amount of detail today. I've done 2 streams for this. My next stream will be in the Vera one. Tomorrow I'll be working on this some more. We'll be doing I'll be using 173 and 096 as a reference point because I feel they both fit what I'm trying to get with powerlessness. And we'll go from there. So good shit. Again, this will be released in a couple of days. So just please be patient because there's a lot of stuff that I'm actually putting into this. All right, I'll see people later. We out.